Good morning, my fellow pigeon lovers. Welcome back to my channel. I'm standing here in my loft at 5:30 in the morning, and the sun is just starting to peek through those wooden slats, casting these beautiful golden stripes across the floor. There's something absolutely magical about being here this early, when the world is still quiet, and it's just me and my birds. The air is crisp, carrying that fresh morning scent mixed with the familiar, comforting smell of clean, wood shavings and healthy pigeons. I want to take you with me today on a complete journey through 24 hours with my young racing pigeons. These aren't just birds to me, they're family, they're athletes, they're dreams with wings. Each one has a personality as unique as a fingerprint, and every single day brings new discoveries, new challenges, and moments that just fill your heart to overflowing. As I step into the young bird section of my loft, I can hear them stirring. It's like a gentle symphony starting up, soft cooing, the rustle of feathers, little feet shuffling on perches. My heart always does this little skip when I see them in the morning. These youngsters, born just a few months ago, are right at that magical stage where everything is possibility. They're past the helpless baby phase, but not yet fully mature. They're teenagers, if you will, full of energy and curiosity, and this incredible eagerness to learn. Let me tell you about what I see right now. There's Champion, my little blue checkercock, already standing tall on his perch, chest puffed out like he owns the world. His eyes are bright and alert, and when he sees me, he gives this soft, almost questioning coo, like he's asking, "What adventure do we have planned today?" Next to him is Luna, a gorgeous silver hen with these absolutely stunning white flights. She's more reserved, watching me with those intelligent eyes that seem to see everything. She reminds me so much of her mother, who was one of my best racers 5 years ago. The morning feeding ritual is something I look forward to every single day. It's not just about nutrition, though that's crucial of course. It's about connection, observation, and starting each day with intention and care. I reach for my feeding scoop, and immediately the energy in the loft shifts. You can feel the anticipation building. Wings flutter, birds hop down to the floor, and that soft cooing gets a little more insistent. I use a mixture that I've perfected over years of trial and refinement. The base is high-quality racing mixed with safflower, corn, wheat, and peas, but I add my own touches based on what these young birds need. A little extra protein for muscle development, some hemp seed for their growing feathers, and during molting season, I'll add sunflower seeds for that extra oil content that makes their plumage absolutely gleam. As I scatter the feed, I'm watching each bird carefully. This is when you really get to know them. Champion dives right in, confident and aggressive about his food. That's going to serve him well when he's competing for position in a race basket. Luna waits a moment, assessing the situation before choosing her spot. She's strategic, thoughtful, traits that often make for incredible long-distance racers who pace themselves beautifully. But it's not just about their eating habits. I'm looking at their eyes. Are they bright and clear? How's their posture? Are they moving normally? Is their breathing even and relaxed? Every little detail tells a story. When you love these birds the way I do, you become incredibly attuned to the smallest changes. A slight droop in a wing, a hesitation in movement, eyes that aren't quite as bright as usual. These are the things that alert you to potential issues before they become problems. This morning, I noticed that Comet, my little red checker, seems a bit quieter than usual. Not sick, mind you, just thoughtful. I make a mental note to keep an extra eye on him today. Sometimes they just have off days, like we all do. Other times, it might mean they're going through a growth spurt or getting ready to molt some feathers. The key is knowing your birds well enough to distinguish between normal variations and genuine concerns. After feeding, I spend time just sitting with them. I know that might sound silly to some people, but this quiet time together is precious. I sit on my little wooden stool in the corner, and gradually, they start to relax around me. Some continue eating, others begin their morning preening routine, and a few of the bolder ones might even hop closer to investigate my shoes or pant legs. This is when their individual personalities really shine through. There's Rocket, who's absolutely fearless and will literally hop onto my hand if I hold it out. Then there's Whisper, who's incredibly gentle and sweet, but so shy that it took weeks before she'd eat while I was in the loft. Dash is the comedian of the group. He has this habit of hanging upside down from the wire mesh, looking at the world from every possible angle. And Storm? She's the athlete. Even as a young bird, you can see that competitive fire in her eyes, the way she carries herself with such grace and determination. As the morning progresses, and the long build takes time. Now, I know for me it's the most glamorous part of educating, but I actually love this routine. There's something deeply satisfying about maintaining a plus, it's another opportunity to observe and grow individually. I start by refreshing the water. Fresh water is absolutely non-negotiable. I use ground-fed drains, but I take it as I'm changing water. I notice how different birds approach drinking. Some are delicate, barely breathing rain. Others, like thunder, practically dive their whole beak in and drink like they've just crossed a desert. The loft cleaning is methodical but never rushed. I scrape the perches, sweep the floors, and refresh the wood shavings in the nest boxes. With each task, I'm aware of the birds around me. They're curious about what I'm doing, some hopping down to investigate my cleaning tools, others watching from their perches with what I swear looks like approval when they see their home being cared for. While I work, I talk to them. I know some people think I'm crazy, but I truly believe they understand more than we give them credit for. I tell them about my plans for the day, about the weather, about how proud I am of their development. Their responses vary, soft coos, head tilts, some even seem to follow the conversation with their eyes. Champion, in particular, always seems to perk up when I mention training flights. Speaking of training flights, this brings us to one of the most exciting parts of any day with young racing pigeons. These birds are born to fly, bred to race, and watching them discover their wings is like witnessing pure magic unfold. But we don't rush this process. Everything is gradual, building confidence and ability step by step. For the newest youngsters, those who are just learning what their wings can do, we start with loft flying. I open the landing board, and they have the choice to venture out or stay safely inside. The first few times, most will just peer out curiously, maybe hop onto the landing board, and then quickly retreat. But gradually, one brave soul will take that first flight around the loft building. Today, I'm watching Star take what I believe might be her very first real flight outside the loft. She's been hopping to the landing board for 3 days now, working up the courage. Her parents were both excellent racers, and I can see that genetic potential in the way she positions herself, the intensity in her eyes, as she looks out at the sky. She spreads her wings, testing the air. Once, twice, and then suddenly she's airborne. My heart absolutely soars with her as she makes a wide, somewhat wobbly circle around the loft. It's not perfect. Young birds rarely are elegant at first, but it's her first taste of freedom, her first real understanding of what she was born to do. I can't help but smile as she lands heavily on the roof, looking surprised and proud at the same time. The other young birds are watching too, and I swear I can see the wheels turning in their little heads. If she can do it, so can I. For more experienced youngsters, those who've been loft flying for a few weeks now, today brings a short road training session. This is where we start building their homing ability, that incredible internal compass that will eventually guide them home from hundreds of miles away. I select 6 of my most confident flyers for today's training toss. The weather is perfect, clear skies, light winds, and unlimited visibility. These conditions are ideal for young birds who are still learning to read the landscape and develop their navigational skills. Loading them into the training basket always brings a mixture of excitement and maternal worry. These birds are my babies after all, and I'm about to release them 5 miles from home, trusting in their instincts and training to bring them back to me. Champion goes in first, calm and confident as always. Luna follows, then Storm, Comet, Rocket, and finally Blaze, a stunning blue hen who's been showing incredible promise. The drive to the release point takes about 10 minutes, and I spend that time talking to them, keeping my voice calm and reassuring. I can hear their soft movements in the basket, the occasional quiet coo. They trust me completely, and that responsibility never gets lighter, no matter how many years I've been doing this. At the release point, I take a moment to check the conditions one more time. The wind is still light, the visibility perfect. I open the basket, and for a moment, all 6 birds just sit there, looking around, getting their bearings. This is normal. They're assessing their situation, figuring out where they are in relation to home. Then Champion steps forward and launches himself into the sky. Within seconds, the others follow, and I watch as they form a loose group, circling once, twice, and then they're gone, heading home with a purpose that never fails to amaze me. The drive back to the loft is always the longest 10 minutes of my day. Will they all make it? Will they remember their training? Did I release them too far too soon? These doubts creep in despite years of experience, because each bird matters so much. But when I pull into my driveway and see all 6 birds already on the loft roof, preening and looking absolutely pleased with themselves, the relief and pride is overwhelming. They did it. They trusted their instincts, used their training, and found their way home. Champion is already at the landing board, looking for his reward. These successful training flights are building blocks, each one adding to their confidence and ability. As midday approaches, the loft settles into a quieter rhythm. Young birds, like human teenagers, need plenty of rest between their active periods. They'll find comfortable spots on their perches, tuck their heads under their wings, and take those little power naps that keep them growing strong and healthy. This is when I often sit with my coffee and just observe. It's during these quiet moments that you really see their social dynamics developing. Who prefers to perch near whom? Which birds are naturally more dominant? Who are the followers and who are the leaders? I notice that Luna and Whisper have become close friends, often perching side by side and preening each other's head feathers. Champion, predictably, has claimed the highest perch as his own, surveying his domain like the little king he thinks he is. Storm prefers a corner spot where she can watch everything but still feel secure. These observations aren't just interesting, they're important for understanding how these birds will develop as racers. The confident, dominant ones often become strong sprint racers, comfortable pushing to the front of the pack. The quieter, more strategic birds might excel at longer distances where patience and intelligence matter more than pure aggression. During this quiet time, I also take care of the record keeping that's so crucial to successful pigeon racing. I update my training logs, noting which birds flew today, how they performed, any changes in behavior or appearance. I review the weather conditions, wind patterns, and any factors that might have affected their flight. This might seem tedious, but these records become invaluable over time. Patterns emerge that help you understand each bird's potential, their preferences, their strengths, and challenges. Some birds consistently perform better in certain weather conditions. Others might show improvement at a specific rate that helps you plan their training progression. The afternoon brings another feeding, lighter than the morning meal. Young birds have fast metabolisms and need regular nutrition, but we're also teaching them discipline and routine. Racing pigeons need to be keen but not desperate, energetic but not frantic. As I prepare their afternoon meal, I'm joined by Rocket, who has somehow figured out how to escape from the young bird section and is now perching on my shoulder like he owns me. This kind of bond is exactly what I hope for with all my birds, that perfect balance of respect and affection, wildness and trust. You're supposed to be in your section, little man, I tell him, but I don't have the heart to put him back just yet. He's not causing any trouble, and moments like these remind me why I fell in love with these birds in the first place. The intelligence in his eyes, the way he seems to understand every word I say, the complete trust he shows by choosing to be near me. The afternoon is also prime time for health checks and individual attention. I catch each bird gently, examining their eyes, feeling their breast muscles for condition, checking their feet and legs for any signs of problems. Young racing pigeons are generally incredibly healthy, but prevention is always better than treatment. As I handle each bird, I'm also working on their trust and comfort with human contact. Racing pigeons need to be calm in the race basket, comfortable being handled by strangers at race stations, and confident in new environments. The socialization that happens now will serve them well throughout their racing careers. Star, who took her first flight this morning, seems to have gained confidence from that experience. She's standing taller, moving with more purpose. When I pick her up for her health check, she's calm but alert, no longer the nervous youngster she was just a week ago. Her breast muscle feels strong and well-developed, her eyes are bright and clear, and her feathers have that healthy, tight quality that speaks of good nutrition and care. Each bird gets a moment of individual attention, some gentle strokes, a few soft words, maybe a tiny treat if they've been particularly good during training. This isn't just about bonding, it's about building confidence and trust that will serve them well when they're racing against birds from other lofts. As evening approaches, there's a certain energy that settles over the loft. The birds seem to sense that the day is winding down, and they begin their evening routines. Some start preening more intensively, others settle into their preferred roosting spots, and a few take advantage of the cooler air to do some gentle exercise flying around the loft area. This is when I love to just sit among them and reflect on the day. What progress did I see? Which bird showed promise? What challenges did we overcome together? There's Star's first flight, the successful training toss with all 6 birds returning safely, Rocket's continued confidence in human interaction, and Luna's steady, consistent development. But it's not just about the successes. I think about Comet, who seemed a bit off this morning, and how he perked up as the day went on. Sometimes what looks like a problem is just a bird having a quiet day, and learning to distinguish between normal variations and genuine concerns is part of the art of pigeon keeping. The evening feeding is always special. The birds know the routine by now, and there's an anticipation in the air. But tonight's feeding includes some extra protein to help with their development, and I've added a few sunflower seeds as a reward for the birds who flew training today. As they eat, I find myself thinking about their futures. Which of these youngsters will become champion racers? Who will struggle with longer distances but excel at sprint races? Which birds will become the foundation of my breeding program in years to come? It's impossible to know for certain at this stage, but I can see glimpses of potential in each of them. Champion attacks his food with the same confidence he shows in everything else. That competitive spirit could take him far in sprint races. Luna eats methodically, carefully, traits that often translate to excellent navigation skills and strong performances in longer races. Storm has an intensity about everything she does that suggests natural racing ability. As the sun begins to set, painting the loft in warm, golden light, I start the evening security routine. Checking that all doors are properly latched, ensuring the water systems are functioning correctly, making sure the young birds are safely settled for the night. But before I close up completely, I always take a few minutes for what I call the evening count. Not just counting birds, though that's important, but really looking at each one, noting their condition, their mood, their position in the social order. It's a peaceful way to end the day, this final check-in with each of my feathered athletes. Tonight, all 22 young birds are present and accounted for. They're settling onto their perches, some still engaged in quiet conversation with their neighbors, others already tucking their heads under their wings for the night. The loft feels calm and content, filled with that special energy that comes from healthy, happy birds in a secure environment. As I prepare to leave them for the night, I can't help but feel that familiar surge of pride and affection. These birds represent so much more than just potential racing success. They're living connections to a tradition that goes back thousands of years, athletes that will soon carry my dreams across hundreds of miles of open sky, and individuals that have already carved out their own special places in my heart. I turn off the lights and step outside, but I can still hear the soft, settling sounds from inside the loft. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, new training opportunities, new moments of discovery and growth. There might be longer training tosses for the more experienced birds, first flights for the newest youngsters, or simply more quiet time to observe and bond with these incredible creatures. Standing here in the gathering darkness, listening to the peaceful sounds from my loft, I'm reminded once again why I love this sport, this hobby, this way of life. It's not just about the competition, though the thrill of racing is certainly part of it. It's about the daily privilege of working with these magnificent birds, watching them develop and grow, being trusted by creatures that could easily choose wildness over the partnership we offer. Every day with young racing pigeons brings something new. Some days are filled with obvious victories, first flights, successful training tosses, breakthroughs in confidence or ability. Other days, the progress is subtle. A bird that stands a little taller, eyes that show a bit more intelligence, trust that grows incrementally stronger. But every single day is a gift. The opportunity to wake up and check on these birds, to see what they'll teach me, to be part of their journey from helpless babies to powerful athletes. There's no feeling quite like it in the world. As I head toward the house, I'm already thinking about tomorrow. The weather forecast looks good for a longer training toss, maybe 8 miles for the most experienced birds. Star might be ready for her first real adventure outside the immediate loft area. Champion and his group could probably handle a slightly more challenging release point. But mostly, I'm looking forward to that moment when I step into the loft tomorrow morning and see all those bright, eager faces looking back at me, ready for whatever adventures the day might bring. Each bird with their own personality, their own potential, their own special place in the grand tradition of pigeon racing. That's what a day in the life of young racing pigeons really looks like, not just the feeding and training and cleaning, though those are certainly important. It's about relationship, observation, patience, and the incredible privilege of being trusted by some of nature's most remarkable athletes. If you've made it this far through my little tour of a typical day, I hope you felt some of the passion and joy that fills every moment I spend with these birds. Whether you're already a pigeon fancier or just curious about this incredible sport, I hope you've gotten a glimpse into why so many of us fall so completely in love with these feathered athletes. I'd love to hear about your own experiences with pigeons in the comments below. Are you just starting out with young birds? Do you have your own training stories to share? Maybe you're thinking about getting into pigeon racing and have questions about what it's really like. Whatever your connection to these magnificent birds, I want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed spending this day with me and my young racing pigeons, please consider subscribing to the channel. I share new videos every week, covering everything from breeding tips to race preparation, from loft management to the pure joy of watching these birds discover their incredible abilities. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and please share this video with anyone who might appreciate getting to know these remarkable creatures a little better. The pigeon racing community is built on sharing knowledge, experiences, and passion, and every new person who discovers the magic of these birds makes our community stronger. Until next time, keep your birds healthy, your skies clear, and your hearts open to the daily miracles that happen when humans and pigeons choose to trust each other completely. Thanks for spending this day with me, and I'll see you in the next video.